Hello students, very good morning to all of you. Today I am going to continue with the explanation of the chapter The Summer of a Beautiful White Horse, which is the first chapter of your supplementary reader, that is Snapshots. So first let us recollect what we read last week. We read in this chapter The Summer of a Beautiful White Horse, that we read about the two boys, Armenian boys named Aram and Murad, who long for horse riding, but they belong to a very poor tribe or a family named Garoglanian family or tribe, and their tribe was known for its honesty. So one day, what happens that Murad, he just gets the horse for riding and comes to Aram's house early in the morning at daybreak and invited him and called him out to enjoy the horse ride. Aram first was not sure or did not believe his eyes, but after seeing the horse in a little bit of light, he understood that the horse was real, and he knew that Murad could not buy the horse, so he thought that he had stolen the horse. So first, without asking any question, he just got ready and sat behind Murad and went for a horse ride. Then in this chapter we also read about Murad, that the author has called Murad as one of the crazy members of this tribe, and who had the similar qualities, or who seemed to have inherited the qualities of Uncle Khusro, who belonged to the same tribe, and therefore Murad is called as the natural descendant of Uncle Khusro, as he was as crazy as Uncle Khusro. His nature was similar to Uncle Khusro. They both are crazy. Uncle Khusro is an angry man who always shouts at everything, and his stock reply was, "Pay no attention to it." So, and in this chapter, we also read that about John Byro, an Assyrian farmer who happened to meet Uncle Khusro at Aram's mother's parlor, and told him about his lost horse and lamented, and he just told about his horse whom he had lost few days back, due to which he could not go back to his homeland, and he had to stay back in Armenia, as he could not take the sari without the horse. So on this, Uncle Khusro shouted at him and told him not to pay attention to it, and he said that he could go back to his homeland on his feet, as God has given 2 feet, 2 legs. But on this, the Assyrian farmer John Byro said that his left leg pains, and Uncle Khusro again shouted and told him, "Pay no attention to it." Then further, now we will see what happens further. This John Byro just told Khusro that the horse costed him $60. So on this, Khusro replied that, "I spit on the money." That means, I just spit on it. I do not care for the money. My Uncle Khosrow said. He got up and stalked out of the house, slamming the screen door. My mother explained, He has a gentle heart, she said. It is simply that he is homesick. And such a large man. The farmer went away, and I ran over to my cousin Murad's house. He was sitting under a peach tree, trying to repair the hurt wing of a young robin, which could not fly. He was talking to the bird. "What is it?" he said. The farmer John Byro. I said, "He visited our house. He wants his horse. You've had it a month. I want you to promise not to take it back until I learn to ride." So in these lines, now I'll tell you what is the meaning of these lines. In these lines, John replied to Khusro that he would not bother, as he lives in a city, but his country was of no good without his horse. So Khusro shouted that he must not pay attention to it. Then further he says that he spits on the money, after which John got up and went away, slamming the door by closing the door very loudly. Then Aram's mother told him that John had a gentle heart and he was homesick, and he was such a large man. Aram went to Murad. He was sitting under a peach tree, talking to a robin bird. He was repairing the wing that was hurt. Aram told him about John Biro and how he visited their house, and he wanted his horse. So Aram asked him not to return the horse until he learns to ride. So now as I told you that now Aram, after listening to John Byro's words, he just understood that it is the same horse which Murad had taken. Now he has come to know that he had stolen it a month back. So he rushes off to Murad to inform about John Byro and takes a promise that he would not return the horse until he learns to ride it. Then further the narrator says, "It will take you a year to learn to ride," my cousin Murad said. "We would keep the horse a year," I said. My cousin Murad leaped to his feet. "What?" he roared. "Are you inviting a member of the Geroglanian family to steal? The horse must go back to its true owner." "When?" I said. "In 6 months at the latest," he said. He threw the bird into the air. The bird tried hard, almost fell twice, but at last flew away high and straight. Every morning for 2 weeks, my cousin Murad and I took the horse out of the barn of the deserted vineyard where we were hiding it and rode it. And every morning the horse, when it was my turn to ride alone, leaped over grapevines and small trees and threw me and ran away. Nevertheless, I hoped in time to learn to ride the way my cousin Murad rode. One morning on the way to Fetvigen's deserted vineyard, we ran into the farmer John Byro, who was on his way to town. "Let me do the talking," my cousin Murad said. "I have a way with farmers." So this was a stock reply of Murad, that I have a way with farmers. Sometimes he say that I have a way with the horses. That means he understood the farmers. He wants to say in these lines. Now, so in this paragraph, we'll see what the narrator wants to say. The narrator says that Murad told Aram that it will take him whole year to learn to ride a horse. So Murad just told, because Aram wanted to keep the horse till he had learned the horse riding. So on this, Murad told him that it would take him a whole year to learn to ride a horse. Then on this, Aram said they could keep him for a year then. Murad stood up on his feet. Now he got angry and shouted at him about encouraging him to be a thief in spite of being the member of the Geroglanian family. He declared that the horse should go to his true owner. Aram asked when would they have to return the horse, to which Murad said, "In 6 months." He threw the bird into the air, and that bird almost fell twice but flew at last. So for the next 2 weeks, they both would take the horse out of the barn and ride it. But every morning the horse would throw Aram and run away whenever he tried to ride it. He still hoped he would learn to ride it the way his cousin did. Once on the way to the deserted vineyard to hide the horse again, they met John Byro, who was on his way to town. Murad insisted on talking to him as he had a way with the farmers. So now John Byro, so they both met John Byro on the way when they were going to keep the horse back, and now Murad told Aram that he would talk to John Byro as he understood the farmers, as he had the way with the farmers. Then further in the next lines, the narrator says, "Good morning, John Byro," my cousin Murad said to the farmer. The farmer studied the horse eagerly. "Good morning, son of my friends," he said. "What is the name of your horse?" my heart, my cousin Murad said in Armenian. A lovely name, John Byro said, for a lovely horse. I could swear it is the horse that was stolen from me many weeks ago. May I look into his mouth? Of course, Murad said. The farmer looked into the mouth of the horse. Tooth for tooth, he said. I would swear it is my horse. If I didn't know your parents, the fame of your family for honesty is well known to me. Yet the horse is the twin of my horse. A suspicious man would believe his eyes instead of his heart. Good day, my young friends. So, in these lines, Murad wished that farmer John Byro good morning, and Byro, as he saw the horse carefully, he wished them back and asked the name of the horse. Murad said, my heart. Murad just told the name of his horse as my heart in Armenian language, and Byro complimented that it was a lovely name for a lovely horse, and he swore that it was his horse that was stolen weeks ago. He asked if he could look into the mouth of the horse, as he knew his horse, and he would come to know whether the horse was his or not. After looking from tooth to tooth, it said it was his horse. If he didn't know his parents, he said the horse was a twin of his horse, and he further said that his family is known for the honesty, but the horse looks just like the one he lost. A man who is suspicious, and he said that a suspicious man, the man who is suspicious, would easily believe his eyes and would not listen to his heart. So John Byro indirectly said that he could not suspect the boys to steal the horse. Why? Because he knew that they both belonged to Garoglanian family, which was known for its honesty. And so he said that their horse was the twin of his horse, though he had understood that it was the same horse and it was his horse only, but still he did not suspect those two boys, and he wished them and went away. Then further in the next lines, the narrator says, good day, John Byro, my cousin Murad said. Early the following morning we took the horse to John Byro's vineyard and put it in the barn. The dogs followed us around without making a sound. The dogs I whispered to my cousin Murad. I thought they would bark. They would at somebody else, he said. I have a way with dogs. So again, Murad, as usual, as I told you that he was a crazy member, so he also has a stock reply saying that I have a way with dogs. He understood the dogs also. My cousin Murad put up his arms around the horse, pressed his nose into the horse's nose, patted it, and then we went away. That afternoon, John Byro came to a house in his Surrey and showed my mother the horse that had been stolen and returned. I do not know what to think, he said. The horse is stronger than ever, better tempered too. I thank God. My uncle Khosrow, who was in the parlour, became irritated and shouted, Quiet, man, quiet. Your horse has been returned. Pay no attention to it. So in this paragraph, the narrator says that Murad wished John Byro back, and next morning they took the horse back to John Byro's vineyard and put it in his barn. And when they were going to the vineyard, the dogs followed them around without making any sound. Murad replied they would not bark at them since he had a way with dogs. That means he understood the dogs. Murad put his arms around the horse, then pressed his nose into the horse's nose, and he patted him, and then they went away, as Murad was now very much attached to the horse, and he took great care of that horse. That same afternoon, John came to Aram's house in his Surrey and showed his mother his horse that returned, and he said he didn't know what to think, as the horse is much stronger now and with a better temper. He thanked God. Uncle Khusro, who was in the parlour, again shouted, irritated, said, Quiet, man, quiet. Your horse has been returned, so pay no attention to it and go back to your homeland. So this is the story of this chapter. I hope you all have understood the chapter. Now we'll see to the question and answers.